CMB. CMB! Man, we all we got! Am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am.
Welcome everybody to Knicks Deli. No more talk. Let's get right into this. This is where we are. Second loss, pretty bad. We got washed. We got washed by the Milwaukee Bucks in the knockout game of the in-season tournament. Washed. And during that game, Julius showed up. He showed up for his matchup. That's what players of the week in the NBA do. That's what they do. They show up. That's what all NBA players in this league do. So for the tournament, the closest thing that we can get to what the playoffs are going to be in June, Julius with his matchup against the premier forward in the league. He shows up. Round of applause for you, Julius. Jalen Brunson, every single point guard matchup this season showing up. And he contributed, I believe, 20 points as well. What about everybody else? Your boy IQ pulled the David Blaine. Our boy IQ pulled the David Blaine. And he was so good at it that he took Quentin Grimes' confidence with him. What? But that was just the Milwaukee Bucks game. What about last night? What about last night versus the Boston Celtics? What about that game? Where every time we play Drew Holiday, he's a super duper star. Yeah, he's a championship point guard. But every time, and I know, listen, I know all of you on your WAC 100 negative Twitter spaces, y'all gonna get into that. Y'all gonna get into the statistics. Y'all gonna get into what y'all get into. Y'all gonna get into that. So I ain't even gonna cover that. Because y'all going to be talking about it till you blue in the face. Since we speaking on WAC 100. Y'all going to be talking about that till we blue in the face. I want to touch on what I put in the title of this video and how I opened the video. Because the truth of the matter is, it's game 21 of an 82 game season. Did we look bad? 100%. Is our defense slipping? 100%. But did we go into these games as the top defense? 100% we did. As having one of the top offenses and looking smooth with it? 100% we did. Did we not have back-to-back players of the week prior to coming into these two games? 100% we did. That don't mean nothing? In game 20 of 82 games, having the highest number of wins in the first 20 games that we've had in the last 20 years, that don't mean nothing. So what I'm going to focus this Knicks Deli on, since they done snatched all the foods off the shelf, and we can't serve up a bacon, egg, and cheese, we can't serve up a chopped cheese, a quart of water, or a dollar slice here at Knicks Deli today. We ain't got nothing in the refrigerator. So what I want to talk about is what's on the stove. And what's cooking here in Knicks Deli apparently is Knicks fans cooking each other. Cooking their own team. Cooking their own organization. Right along with everybody else in the NBA. Hell, we couldn't even enjoy these games. Where we were in it the first half of both games. We couldn't even enjoy them. You know why? Because by halftime, you had Kenny in the and then post games, you have Knicks fans taking dumps on the team. So we can't even process any of the highs or the lows and how to get better. We can't even do that effectively because 20 games in, conversations around who we need to trade for. 20 games in. to a season where we far exceeded the expectations. So every time you hear them talk about Knicks fans being impatient, this is what it is. This is exactly what it is. Your boy Julius stepped up in a matchup with the premier power forward. Showed that this playoffs might be different because in a game that everybody in this league has kind of galvanized themselves around to make sure this first historic in-season tournament, and whoever's going to be the champion of this in-season tournament is going to be part of history because this is something that's going to last for years to come. So in a game of that magnitude, when you have the number one premier power forward, a champion on the other side, your boy Julius showed up. But that ain't none of the talk. That ain't none of the talk. But I remain positive. You know what? I try to remain positive because this game 21 of 82 games. But you know when it becomes difficult to remain positive? When all of your own people are so toxic. That's when it becomes difficult to remain positive. So it made me think really quickly. Last night I was watching a film that all of us knows. Let's talk about Paid in Full. Round of applause for the movie Paid in Full. Because that's who we are. We ain't paid quite yet. But the New York Knicks fan base is exactly the characters on Paid in Full, and we here to talk about it. We're going to talk about it today. Let me show you why this is such an accurate depiction of where we are right now. Because the part that's puzzling me is when you have a few weeks of back-to-back play where Julius is putting 20 points and 10 rebounds repeatedly, game after game. When that's happening, or you have your point guard dropping points on premier point guards in this league, yet you still, topping Obi. I said it. You still out here topping Obi off. Or you out here twerking for Halliburton. This is what you're doing. I'm not saying nothing. I'm sitting here watching. Oh, you see, the closest thing I did was the opening game of the IST. And I watched that game just to kind of get an eye on what the environment, the atmosphere is going to look like. And I ain't even going to lie. That place was popping. It was a college town. I came from Indiana, out there for 7 years. It's a college level environment. And they woke up. And that team rode the energy and the wave of that energy that they was giving them, that college type of feel. But the reason it was even more popping is because the New York Knicks fan base, a good majority of y'all was twerking and popping along with them. That is disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. And a lot of you were doing it just to piss off Knicks fans like me. The highs or the lows, everybody knows I'm riding and dying with this squad. And you be like, who's to say I'm not? I don't know. I don't know. Because you keep topping Obi. You keep twerking for Halliburton. So you tell me, what is going on? I ain't even looking at Twitter today. Because I know y'all bugging. Fire Tom Thibodeau. I know y'all bugging. It's because of you idiots. Game 20. And y'all talking about trades. Y'all talking about fire Thibs. Y'all talking about missing out on Halliburton. When you got a point guard landed in your lap. If we're talking about karma, then the NBA gods took one opportunity, a second opportunity, because the first time they blessed you with Porzingis. And we poo-pooed that. But with the karma, they was like, you know what, you're doing everything right. You're doing everything right, my sons. You're being patient. fans, you're trusting in the process and you're being patient. You're defending the patience and the smart strategic moves of your organization. Let me bless you. Here's a point guard that you haven't had any type of talent nowhere close to having in the last 20 or 25 years. Here you go. And what y'all doing? Y'all up here popping it and twerking it up for Halliburton. Or you up here and top it off Obi. Obi the ops. The moment he was out of here, he was out of here to me. Anytime I see that blue and gold, it's on sight. I'm not even watching the video. I'm gonna go stretch in the hallway while y'all twerk it up and top off Obi the moment he returns to the Garden. He didn't even give y'all no shout out. He didn't even give y'all no tweet or nothing on his way out. He didn't even throw up the deuces. When they asked him about the New York Knicks organization, he said that's in the past. He didn't even acknowledge you. And y'all still up here popping for topping. Twerking for Halliburton. It's crazy. It's crazy. But let's talk about this though. Because I don't even want to talk about the games. I want to talk about you. I want to talk about us. That's what I want to talk about. Jay-Z said one time, he was just like, yo, I don't care about what nobody else is doing. Charlamagne on the interview asked him, he was just like, yo, how do you adjust when the game changes so fast and you could be hot one day and the next? Like, how do you adjust your style and your process to be creative? He said, yo, I don't ever let nobody rush my process. I don't care what none of them is doing. I do what I like. I do what's good for me. And that is the mode that we've been following. But New York Knicks fans, you've let the major media once again creep into your psyche and convince you that what they say is important. What worked this time is you let the in-season tournament hype creep into your psyche once again. Yes, I wanted to win the tournament. Yes, I wanted to be part of that history so we can say we're on the map. And we're going to be a team to be reckoned with down the line in the playoffs. I wanted that too. It is an important historic tournament. Yes, it is. And just like we wouldn't expect anybody to poo-poo us once we raise that banner into the ceilings, into the rafters, if we would have won it, then we can't downplay it with whoever it is who wins it now. We can't do that. But what this tournament has also been successful in doing is raising the insecurity of you Knicks fans. Raising the insecurity of you Knicks fans. So as I'm looking or whatever comment I post like, oh yeah, you see your boy Grimes is now benched or whatever, or oh y'all delusional because all of you were defending Thibs. Yo, are you serious? So it made me think like that scene from New Jack City. Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother's keeper? And prior to the season, when everything is kumbaya and we ain't played a game, the response is always, yes, I am. But nah, not 20 games in. Not when the weak-minded portions of Knicks Twitter is now convinced and brainwashed by the major media. Because now you at this point where you calling mid-season, what do you think will happen if they fire Thibs? What do you, what, like, so mid 20 games in, too close to his final year, where for the first time we've provided stability and we still haven't extended him. So he's still constantly being evaluated. That ain't enough for y'all. I could see if they re-sign him or they sign him to an extension already early in this season. But you're still condemning an organization for still having Thibs. The man has to work for his paycheck. But no, y'all want to fire Thibs. Y'all want to bench or trade Grimes. Y'all want to get somebody in here like a stopgap for DeMar DeRozan. Donovan Mitchell. None of these, they already said that none of these players are moving the needle. We know. We know. How many more wins are we going to get? When you get to the point where you play in the Bostons, that if healthy, they're going to continue to do what they did to us last night. Denver, who got the same type of players at each position, but we're one of the most consistent, we're one of the most cohesive type of groups. The stability that's part of the New York Knicks. And y'all like, oh, that stability and that consistency, that don't mean nothing if you want to go to the next level. Y'all mother flippers. This is why I said Paid in Full. I was watching that movie. I was seeing us all over it. So let me talk about what that is. Let me talk about what I was seeing. It's not CMB. It's not the Cash Money Brothers. Yo, am I my brother's keeper? Yes, I am. No, I ain't. It's selective memory as to when we are our brother's keeper. When we win and before the season starts, when wins aren't even counted or losses aren't on the board as of yet. That's the only time we all as a group are together. Any other time with a Paid in Full crew. Yeah. Certain portion of the fan base, yo, we ace. Low key. Stay in the cut. Still got goals of dominating. But we don't need to be in the spotlight all out loud. And then you got the Ricos. And that's negative Twitter on point. Front line, look at me. We getting money over here. You need to be hitting it just like that. And although we might be eating, we might be having some wins. So there's a portion of the Knicks Twitter that's Rico. And then there's another portion of Knicks Twitter that's Mitch. And I just love the game. I can appreciate the game. And that's when, you a Knick fan, but then you looking over here like, look at what they doing. I gotta fix myself up because of what they doing right there. They can't outstunt more than me. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about why you might be Rico, or you might be Mitch, or you like me, we might be Ace. All right? So let's get into that. Rock with me as we talk about this. Let's start with y'all Ricos out there. Let's start with Negative Knicks Twitter. Okay? Now I say Negative Knicks Twitter because it's always fire Thibs, trade everybody, get the superstar in here. What are we doing? We're already good. We're already we mid right now. We need to go to the next level. As if there wasn't a process that went into building this. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about you Ricos. Okay? If I say you're Ricos, this is what I mean. Okay? There's different styles between the Aces and the Ricos. You all the way to the left. You Ricos out there, okay? We want the same thing. We want to be the king, okay? It's just that when shit gets real, just a little bit, we at odds with each other about how we should fix it, about how we need to move. Now ask yourself, Ricos. Ask yourself, Negative Knick fans. We all eating right now, right? One of the best records in the first 20 games that we've had in the last 20 years. Wouldn't you say we eating right now? But nah, Niggas is positioning themselves to make moves. We just want to be king just because. Like, that's the mindset, bro. That's your mindset, short-sighted-ish. That'll always have us in the same situation. Carmelo Anthony trade. We would get rid of all the supporting cast. Now we truly are mired in mediocrity. Can't get out of the second round with your so-called superstar on the team. That's what having a Rico does. Okay? But it's not always negative. You know, I know y'all saying like, you just twisting that. No. We need Rico. We need you. Cause I'm an ace, bro. And you know Ace is nothing like Rico. We need the Ricos. The Ricos are the heart of the Knicks fan base. Y'all the heart of the squad. It's important. Your spirit and energy. You're the heart, the spirited energy of New York. We need y'all. Y'all gonna talk y'all talk. And y'all gonna be the first ready to pop off. The Ricos are the fan bases are the ones that say, what's the use of having soldiers if you're not gonna use them? So just when somebody else tries to get out of pocket, whack-ass Golden State Warriors fan base is the whack-ass Bulls fan base. Anybody who want to get out of pocket, it's the Ricos that are quick to fire up. We need y'all. Y'all are them, what's poppin' Kermie? Y'all that of the fan base. Which is why we need each other on both ends. You far left and we far right. This is what makes us one of the greatest fan bases in sports. But y'all extra sometimes. In summertime, sometimes y'all fast microwave moves, you know, your air fryer desire mentality gets us caught up. And then we end up locked up in bad contracts, with bad moves, with players with bad attitudes. And even while we locked up, you like, yo, once we turn around, we still gonna be the king. No, that's not how it works. It ends bad. You saw the movie? It ends bad. So that's my frustration with the Ricos. That's my frustration with the Ricos. We need y'all, but you gotta pump y'all brakes sometimes. Now let's talk about the aces. It ain't gonna be all rosy flower colored or whatever because I identify as ace. But this is what it is. It's not always kumbaya, positive, you know, let's go Thibs. Thibs smells like roses and flower petals. It ain't always that. You know, like Thibs is stubborn. We know that. You know, sometimes he's too slow with making a change. But one thing I always do is give him credit. Over the past few years, we've seen him make changes. Like last night, when he pulled Grimes, and Grimes is one of his guys. And he put him on a bench, and he inserted the Da Vinci Code. It's one of the changes that he made. Everybody knows it would have taken him longer to make that type of change. Only for the sake of proving that he's right. Just stick with it. It's like medicine. It's terrible going down. Give it some time. It always works. That's what you're looking at with Thibs. But as the aces of the fan base, this is what it is. You know, we're the ones who study from the shadows. You know, we peep the game plan out. We understand that low key is the way to go. The long game is the way to go. We're the ones who were also taught by the direct connects. 9 times out of 10, the aces of the fan base are the ones who were around when we were up before in the 90s. So we have that direct connect. So we have the patience to be able to see, okay, what looks familiar to us right now? What's super similar to what's going on right now? We're building something because we've seen how it was built previously and how it sustained us for 15 years of making the playoffs when Patrick was here. And we missed the playoffs a few times when he first got in as a rookie, but we had a string of 15 years making the playoffs. So we know if you vibe with the blueprint of the connect, you can win. Even if you got somebody who is current in the streets like a Mitch. And to us, it would be the equivalent of what we see with teams who are able to turn around their fortunes because they've hit on a first round pick or number one pick, and they were able to turn it around much quicker than we were. Or the fact that we are now not only repairing our team, our mentality, our stability, we're repairing relationships. Because you have organizations who are more prone to work with the small markets because they don't want to see New York up. So the approach we take as the aces of the fan base is like, yo, you see that there was production in taking this approach over the past 3 years. Let's stay the course. Look, I mean, we speak up when we have to, but we play the cut. Let's play the cut. We know that real G's move in silence like lasagna. This is Ace, B. Ace Boogie, B. Don't call me lucky no more. I ain't lucky. I ain't been lucky since I found that $10 food stamp on the street, ma. Call me Ace. It's Ace now, A Boogie. That's what you call me now. This is what it is. Now, when you take that approach, people won't always see your vision. And that's what frustrates the Ricos of the fan base. Because the Ricos of the fan base are probably the ones that are more current Knicks fans. They're a little bit younger. They fly off the handle a little bit. They just like, y'all don't want to hear that long game stuff. I ain't eating. That's what they're concerned about. I ain't eating. And Ace looks at him, what you mean you ain't eating? You ain't out here making money in these streets? This is what Ace does. And ultimately what happens is when the Ricos start talking about we ain't eating, and you know us, you know, we get money, we're going to get money regardless. But ninjas position themselves to make other moves. When you got that mindset, not only is Ace battling the ops, but now he got to worry about friendly fire from his own squad. And this is why I was saying, God damn, Knicks Twitter, Knicks Nation is pretty much the paid in full character cast. But let me not forget, there's one more character. There's Mitch. There's Mitch. Now Mitch is that leader. You know the fan. You know the crew in your fan base. Mitch is the one that's look. He's in the game. He has experience with it. And I kind of laughed because as I was taking these notes down and I was watching this movie, you know, I ain't trying to call nobody out, but I'm calling some people. Yo, Mitch are the content creators that been in the game for a minute. And now the shine is there. You know, they're not only getting recognition from other teams, fan bases, but they may be getting recognition from the media, the major media. So they're the ones that love the game. This is what it is, you know, the Knicks, this is where we are, this is where it gotta be. But I could appreciate the Indianapolis Pacers, the Indiana Pacers. I could appreciate with this that's going on. You know, nobody want to hear that. Mitch is the one that when he walks in the spotlight gotta be, I gotta get love. Yo, I get love in Harlem, B. Yo, they love me. Yo, you gotta get to a certain point that we cash in. Like, I don't know about that, Ace. I love the game. I don't know. I love the game, baby. Yo, in about 5 years, we both going to be having matching Benzes. 5 years. I'm talking 5 days. Short-minded. Short-sighted. But at the same time, got the ability to pull it off. That's you as an individual, though. Organizationally, what happens when you try to move organizationally? Because sometimes when you move so fast, You don't know the difference between friends and foes. So you start saying things like, yeah, I still got to follow Obi. Oh my God, you see this boy Halliburton? I'm telling you, the Knicks passed on this cat. They missed out on this cat. Well, I got news for you. Everybody missed on him. Not just the New York Knicks. Dallas missed on Jalen Brunson. And we got him. So what you saying? So what you saying? But when you do that and you love the game and it feels as if all of your allegiance ain't on your own squad, you got half an eye over here on the Pacers because your boy's Obi's over there. Other half of your eyes over here because this team looked pretty as well. Then it sprinkles in a sense of dissension and distrust in the fan base. I can't openly talk to you about successes and frustrations with our squad, realistically thinking what we could do to get better, with an honest and unbiased eye looking to evaluate at our squad from the coach to the head office to the last player. Because my feeling is you always looking at the next best thing. And if our team gets eliminated, you start talking about who you rooting for now. What is that? Mitch? And the next thing you know, when you out there chilling with the ops, twerking it up for Halliburton or topping off Obi, pop. And next thing you know, now you want to come back to Ace. Emotional. I can't believe they would do that to me. Anybody who's ever said a negative thing about me, about these Knicks, is dead, B. Dead. That's what happens. And we be sitting there next to you like, you wildin'. That's when you want to align yourself with Ace. The moment the ops get out of line and the moment Rico gets out of line. Now you want to come over here and get some understanding. So for you Mitches in the fan base, you emotional, you I love the game type of ninjas. I just love the game of basketball. You know, I'm a root for my Knicks, but I'm going to definitely watch every other game. And yo, you see Halliburton and you part of the problem too. My motto is ninjas. I'm going to ride for my ninjas. Ride or die all day, orange and blue. Let's go. Not you get shook once we hit a little bit of a stretch. We get off course. You don't think these players know what's being talked about? They're all over Twitter. This is the social media age. You sitting here wondering why Quentin Grimes is his confidence is lost. It ain't just Thibs, it's us. Yo, we need to pull him. It's us. We're part of the problem, if not the problem. Game 21. This is where we at. It doesn't get easier. And it's not going to be easy for the opposing team either. But we're already turning on the squad. So what is that? What is that? I don't know. Come home. It's only game 20. We got 60 more games. Come home. You good, we good. Come home, y'all. Stay focused. Come home, lock in. Let's finish this game strong. Let them talk. They were talking about us missing the playoffs last year. Let them talk. They was talking about us getting eliminated in the first round last year. Let them talk. These players need us. IQ has to step up in big games, but the confidence, it's a mind game. They need us. Grimes needs to get his confidence back. It's sustained. It was a good first step last game. They need us. Boston looked impressive. Yes, health plays a factor. We got hit with the injury bug yesterday. Yes. It seems like everything has turned in a matter of 2 days. How do you think this Knicks team feels when the world is criticizing? I mean, you know they hear it because Brunson and RJ commented on it. And now the only thing they have to do is mess around and click on Knicks Twitter, and they see how the fan base is turning on them. And then they start having this us against the world mentality. Not even our fans are included. Even they doubt us. And then y'all gonna want to return and twerk it up for the team once we hit that 8-game winning streak. Come home. Don't be on the outside of that before it happens. Come home. We need all the people that we can get to lift these voices to support this squad while they're clearly going through a rough time right now. Yes, they need to improve defensively. But y'all act like we've been at the bottom of the defensive pale all season. We went into these 2 games, number 1 in defense. What are we talking about? Come home. If we stick together, everybody eats. And when everybody eats and the season is over, let's see who's really the king of Harlem. Same thing applies to life that applies to our team. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Thank you for visiting Knicks Deli. And here at Knicks Deli, everybody eats. I'm Sheer, and I'm out. Peace.